Hello everybody, it's Maikito. First of all, I did plan on making a video yesterday, but I did go to a concert and by the time I got back, I was extremely tired. I was still planning on making one anyways, but I knew that with my judgment, just because I was so tired, I didn't want to give bad picks. So I did wake up early before the Prem games and confirmed the lineups and posted some picks like 30 minutes before. I made that in the community post. I'm not sure how many of you guys actually got those. I sent 4. I got 3 of them right, so went 3 and 1. So that was pretty good. The only miss I had was Trossard over 2.5 shots. He only ended with 1. He finally took a shot and then he got subbed out. And then Barco for Brighton over 0.5 shots hit easily within like 10 minutes. Draw Pedro over 3 shots against Man U. Also for Brighton, that one hit as well. And then Foden over 3.5. He ended with 6, got that one right. And then when it comes to the last video, overall I went 4 for 1 on those. The only miss I had was the Leverkusen minus 1.5. They only won by 1 sadly, but they should have hit. And then Stuttgart first half 3 money line. That one hit easily. Neuer over 2.5 saves hit. Grealish under 4 tackles. I knew that one was a steal. That one hit. He ended with 2. And then Anton over 82.5. That one hit with like the last 5-10 minutes of the game. But did good last video, and then did good with the community post. There was only 2 games, so at first I was planning on not posting, but I didn't want to not post again. And there were a couple that I did like, so I'm gonna go ahead and get into those. Again, if you see the background changing colors, it's because I'm watching the Nuggets and Wolves game as of now. But both of these picks are under the Italian Serie A. The first one, it is Wojciech Szczesny, lower in 3 saves, playing away from home for Juventus, going up against Bologna. First of all, he averages 2.32, so already averages lower than this. And whenever he, or at least Juventus, played Bologna in the first game at home, Perin, who was the goalkeeper, had 3. But Bologna averaged 4.4 on target at home, which would mean he could push. But the main reason why I like this pick is because both Joshua Zirkzee and Lewis Ferguson, 2 of Bologna's integral players in the attack this whole season, are both out injured. So I don't think the attack is going to be the same for Bologna, especially going up against a Juventus team who have a decent defense. And I just feel like this is one of those picks where I don't think he gets 4. There is a small chance he pushes, but I don't think he does because, like I said, their main 2 attackers, or most integral part of the attack, are not going to be playing next game. And both teams have nothing to play for anymore. They're already secured their spots for the Champions League. If Juventus loses, if Bologna loses, doesn't matter. They've both already secured their spot. So although Bologna is playing at home, they don't have anything to play for, so it's not like they're going to be like super aggressive and fighting for the win. Obviously, sure, they'll try to win, but it's not like they have something to play for, so they don't have the extra momentum. And like I said, 2 integral pieces of their attack is gone. So like Wojciech Szczesny, lower than 3 saves, going up against Bologna. My next pick, it is Lorenzo Montipo, lower than 3 saves, playing away from home for Hellas Verona, going up against Salernitana. He averages 2.94, so he averages about 3. It's just whether he goes under those 3, and I think he does because, like Szczesny, I do not think he gets 4. When he played Salernitana at home, he only had 2 saves, and Salernitana are projected to have 3 shots on target, maybe 4. So there's a good chance he doesn't even have the opportunities to get those 4 saves. And the reason why is because, first of all, Salernitana are already relegated. They have nothing to play for. They have been the absolute worst team in the league in both attack and defense. But Verona, on the other hand, are fighting to stay in the league. If they can at least tie or win this game, I believe they have to win just to be safe because they're only 1 point ahead of the person or the team that can be relegated. They're going to be aggressive. So Verona's going to be fighting to stay, and they're going to be controlling the game. And Salernitana already are bad at keeping possession of the ball. So I believe this is going to be a game where Verona is going to be trying to control the ball. They're going to be on the attack. Salernitana have a bad offense in general. This is already a mark that I would like to take under in the normal game. But now that Verona are going to be on the attack, and I don't think Salernitana is going to have as many opportunities to attack, I like Lorenzo Montipo, lower than 3 saves, going up against Salernitana. My next one is keeping in the same game. This is for Salernitana. It is Federico Fazio, lower than 0.5 shots. Yeah, it's a little bit less of a mark, but I still like it just because, 1, there's not too many options, and 2, I just like the pick in general. He has 8 shots in 16 games, so he averages 0.5 shots a game, and all of them have been from set pieces. The reason why I mentioned that is because, like I said earlier in the other pick, the Montipo pick, I don't think Salernitana is gonna be on the attack and have many opportunities to even get those set pieces in general. He actually averages 0.6 shots away while at home, which is where he's playing. He averages 0.3, so he actually averages less at home. And for those wondering, he's a center back, which means he's a defender. So it's not like he's ever going to be going up. He only goes up again in those set pieces. But like I said, I don't think he'll get those opportunities. If anything, he's going to be focused on defending against Hellas Verona, who, like I said, are going to be aggressive and try to go for the win. And Salernitana only averaged 4.83 corners. And I mentioned that, like I said, because he gets his headers and shots from set pieces. So even then, they won't have many opportunities. And they'll likely have less corners than that, in my opinion. So like Federico Fazio, lower than 0.5 shots for Salernitana. And then for my last pick, I actually saw this because Prizepicks finally added some plays while I was doing research. And I did like this one. It is for Hellas Verona. It is Tijani Noslin, higher than 1.5 shots, playing for Hellas Verona against Salernitana. He averages earlier in the season, the first half of the season, he played in the Dutch league, and there he averages 2.54 shots per 90. And ever since moving to Hellas Verona, he's averaged 2.16 per 90. So already averages higher than this mark in both leagues. So it comes to show that he already averages higher than this mark. And he's gone over this in his last 4 out of 5 games. He's good in the air, whereas Salernitana is weak. Salernitana is not good in the aerial duels, which is where Noslin is good at. And they need to win, like I said. And if you look at the games, he's played full minutes. Out of the last 5, there's only been one where he got subbed out with like 5 minutes to go, which is fine with me. As long as he plays those 85 minutes, I'm pretty confident that he'll go over. And if you look at the 5 games, the only game that he went under in was against Lazio, who's a good defense. But even then, the games that he's gone over this mark in has been against pretty good defensive teams. Torino, Fiorentina, Udinese, and Atalanta. So he's going over this mark against good teams. Now he's going against Salernitana, who have a bad defense in general. And like I said, they're going to be aggressive. And he's been integral to their last 5 games where I believe they beat Fiorentina and they've beat Udinese. And they've tied like 1 or 2 of them. So he has been a main integral part on why Hellas Verona are still even in the league in the first place. If it wasn't for him, they are likely wouldn't even have these points. They would have been relegated. So he's been an integral part. I believe he plays full minutes. He averages over 2 shots. So I like to take Tijani Noslin higher than 1.5 shots for Hellas Verona. I want to give a shout out to my partner, Underdog Fantasy. You can use code Maikito, linked in the description. They'll match your first deposit up to $100. I also have my Fliff linked in the description where I send the money lines. It's a mobile app if you want to take those there as well. And then I also have the memberships. For those that don't know, I have a membership. It doesn't change any of the content. It's just for those that want to get the video a little earlier to try to avoid potential bumps or plays getting taken away. But like I said, it doesn't change any of the content that I bring out. It's still all the same. And I also have my Cashapp linked in the description. It's never required for you guys to send anything. It's just really much appreciated if you guys ever want to send anything. And I want to thank anybody who uses any of the codes or donates or just supports me in any way. When it comes to the money lines, I just thought I'd find one from each game. If you want to take them, you can. Again, don't just blindly tell. But I just thought I'd find 2 that I liked, and I'll just go ahead and get into those. The first one is the Juventus winner draw against Bologna. They've gone over this mark in 14 out of 18 away games, and when they played them earlier at home, they tied. But they only tied because they had Zerki and Ferguson. Like I mentioned earlier, they're not going to be playing this game because they are injured. And in that game where they tied, it was 1-1. Bologna's one goal that they got, guess who it was? It was Ferguson's goal, and he was assisted by Zerki. So Juventus is going to be full strength. They don't have any injuries, at least to their starting 11 or anything. And they've won over this in this last 8 out of 10 games. It's going to be a battle of pretty much defense. I don't think this game is going to be too high scoring. So they're missing their 2 most integral parts. And I just don't see how there's a way that Bologna wins. They are at home where they are still good defensively. Just because Ferguson and Zerki are there doesn't mean that Bologna is good defensively. I just don't think that they'll be that good in the attack compared to how they are before, which is why I'm taking the winner draw. If you want to take the risk, you can go Juventus win, but I'm taking winner draw just because I just don't think Bologna's attack is going to be there. But for my second pick, it is actually the Hellas Verona corners 3-way against Salernitana. I'm not sure if they'll win, just because there's always the chance that Salernitana catches them on the counter, which is where they like to play anyways, and they score, and then somehow Verona ties it. So I don't want to take their money line, just because I feel like it's a little too juiced relative to how good they actually are. So I'm taking their pretty much that they'll have more corners taken than Salernitana. They're going to be aggressive. In the first game when they played them at home, they went over this. They had more corners than Salernitana. Salernitana averaged 4.83 corners for themselves at home, but the opponents averaged 5.61. So it just shows you that opponents average more corners than them at home anyways. And I think Salernitana already bad at keeping possession, so Hellas Verona is going to be controlling the ball more, which means, again, less chances for Salernitana to even get corners for themselves. So I just think it's one of those where I just think Hellas has more corners. They might not have as a lot, but I think they'll have more. So like the Hellas Verona corners 3-way against Salernitana. Thank you everybody for watching. Like I said, I had a couple picks that I thought I'd give out to you guys, so I just went ahead and gave you that, making a video. I'll try to get this out as soon as I can. I do work tomorrow morning, so if I don't reply in Discord and stuff like that, you guys know why. I'm gonna be waking up really early. But other than that, I hope everybody has a good night, and hopefully we can cash out tomorrow.